So, Mr. Williams,
Yeah.
I've had an opportunity to review what you've provided to the court. I'm going to have it filed in the court record, so this is going to be part of the court record. Effectively, just to put on the record, you want, as your first sentence says, I no longer want my lawyer's services. So that is, Madam Clerk, I'm going to give it to you. Now I have to go into some questions with you. I'm going to put you under oath, ask you some questions so that I can make a finding as to whether or not your attorneys are what's called ineffective. That's the only way. That's the only way that your attorneys can be removed from representing you. Okay.
Is it not my constitutional right to represent myself?
You do have a constitutional right to represent yourself, but it's a two-step process. So first, I have to find your attorneys to be ineffective before we can even get to the place as to whether or not you can represent yourself. Okay.
I don't remember even asking for an attorney to represent me. They just appointed one.
They did, because you are entitled to an attorney, and that's why one was appointed to you years ago, and you were satisfied with them years ago. So right now,
I never.
Sir,
Okay, go ahead.
I appreciate it. Thanks. So we're going to go through this process to determine whether or not the court can make a finding as to whether or not your attorneys are ineffective. I can tell you at the outset that your dissatisfaction with your attorneys is not sufficient for the court to remove them from your representation. Do you understand that?
So I just I told her 5 different times that
Sir, I just want you to understand. Let's go slow, okay? I'm going to let you be heard, but I want us to go slow. Do you understand that your dissatisfaction with your attorneys is not sufficient for me to remove them from your representation? Do you understand that?
Yeah, this. I'm not getting a fair trial.
Okay. Well, we're gonna work our way through it, but I need to ask you some questions. All right? Can you raise your right hand?
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
You can put your hand down. Say your name, sir.
Semmie Williams.
How old are you?
43.
What's the highest level of school that you've completed?
11th.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No.
We've already discussed that you do have a mental condition that you take medication for. Is that correct? You take medication?
I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, but I passed my competency test, so I can function on my own. So it's irrelevant about my case.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you putting that on the record. Now, you indicated that you no longer want your attorneys to represent you, right?
I no longer want their services. They're frustrating me, and I don't want nothing to do with them.
Okay. And now I need you to tell me why. And there has to be a legal reason why before the court can remove them. So tell me, what is it that is the reason why you no longer want your attorneys to represent you? Because what you put on paper does not give me any factual basis to determine whether or not I should remove them from representing you.
So I never asked for an attorney. I wanted my right to represent myself by federal and state law. I never asked for an attorney. I never had the opportunity to say I want to represent myself by federal and state law. I told my lawyer 5 different times, these are not the questions that you asked me, and she did not say I was wrong. So she was confirming that she was asking me questions that we did not go over.
Okay. Sir, can I interject now? So when we were at sidebar, when the attorneys were up here just a minute ago, I told the attorneys that they are to give you those questions, and you can bring them up to the bench, to the witness stand when you're being questioned. So you'll have those questions with you on the table when they're going to finish their questions of you. Okay?
I'm tired of them. They just interfering with my process. I'm tired of them.
Okay.
I don't want no lawyer.
Sir, listen to me. Did you hear what I just said?
Okay. I'm just telling you I'm tired of them.
I understand. And I think we're all tired. I think if you asked everyone in this room would also agree with you that we all collectively can say we're tired, but we need to finish this trial. So, did you hear me when I said that you can bring up to the bench, you can bring up on the witness stand the questions that you and your attorneys went over.
And also,
Did you hear me when I
okay,
said?
I heard what you said. I heard
Thank
what you
you.
said.
All right. So would that help with some of your frustration with your attorneys?
It will help, but
Okay. All right, we're gonna go step by step.
Okay.
First step, if you have your questions on the bench, that would help you, right?
That will help. Yeah.
All right. What's the next issue that you have with your attorneys?
I'm not getting my federal right to a fair trial because my attorneys are not doing what I ask, and they're not presenting the evidence that I wanted to present.
What evidence is it that you want to present?
So I want to go over these questions.
All right,
the questions.
I told you about the questions. We already talked about the questions. So
I also want to review the case facts.
What case facts?
My case facts in my police report and my discovery that the officers swore that these things are facts about my case. I want to review what I think is lies, and it's a setup.
All right. So you said three things, and we're going to go. You got to go slow, okay, sir? So you're going a little too fast for me. Let's slow down. You talked about evidence, you talked about police reports, and you talked about discovery. What evidence is it that's causing you to have dissatisfaction with your attorneys? And
I want to review myself what I think is wrong with it.
You want to?
I want me and my attorney together review it on the film projector.
What film projector?
The one that the state was using.
The screen right here that's in front of us?
Yeah.
Okay. What evidence do you want to review on the film projector?
The things that I know are lies.
Okay. That doesn't help me understand. What is it specifically that
everything, the whole report.
The whole police report?
I want to review the whole police report, yeah.
Okay. You want to review it with your attorneys?
Yeah, we review it together.
Okay. Anything else?
Can you review? Can you go over what I ask?
Can I go over what?
Can you tell me what I just requested I wanted to go on for? Could you review what I asked you that I want to happen in my trial that I just said?
Okay, we just talked about it. Are you talking about the piece of paper you gave me a little while ago, or are you talking about what we just talked about now?
What we just talked about now, yes. Yeah.
Sir, I'm going to give you an opportunity to meet with your attorneys to go over that police report. But I just want to make sure I have everything in my mind and on paper as to what your concerns are so I can go forward. So
Okay. Now I can remember myself. So I said I wanted to review. I said I wanted to go over all the questions. And I said I wanted to review my police report and my discovery that are sworn facts by the police officer. And I wanted me and my attorneys review together what's wrong with the whole police report.
Okay.
And I also wanted to look at my gangstalking videos of people following me to prove that people was following me, and I want to discuss in front of the jury about the people following me to prove that people follow me, that I'm not lying about it, and I also want to review review the funguses they put on my body. And that's it. And so if they can do that, if they can do their job properly and not interfere with my constitutional right for a fair trial, then I deal with them. But they really frustrating me.
Okay. Is that everything, sir?
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Counsel? Do you have any response? Yes. Yes. So, Mr. Williams, anything else before I start with, this is called a Nelson hearing. So before we finish with the Nelson hearing, anything else you want to tell me?
Are you saying me discussing about me dissatisfied with my attorneys? Okay.
The fancy name for it is called a Nelson hearing. So I just
Okay.
wanna make
Well,
sure
can you, when you're done with the paper, can you give it back what I gave to you?
No, because I put it as part of the court record. Would you like me to make a copy of it so you can have it?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Madam Clerk, can you make a copy of what has been filed as Mr. Williams Nelson? So someone will make a copy of it and give it to you in a little bit. We don't
Okay. Well, if they do
All right,
it,
Mr. Williams, my judicial assistant, can you come out here and get that and copy it and then give it back to the clerk, please? I just was telling them to. Anything else, sir?
If they do what I just asked you and they don't interfere with my right to a fair trial, then I'll go forward with it. I'll go forward with them. Huh?
All right. So it seems as though now you're withdrawing the Nelson motion.
If you want to dismiss him, dismiss him.
No, I want to know what you want me to do. Do you want me to make a ruling concerning it, or are you saying that you're taking it back and you want to work with your attorney some more? You tell me before I tell you.
If they're going to do their job, I mean, if you're going to make a ruling on it, I just want them to do their job and stop interfering with my right to have a fair trial. Okay. If they're not going to do their job, then I want to get rid of them. So you can rule. You can make your ruling.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So the court finds that based on Mr. Williams's testimony, dissatisfaction with counsel is insufficient for the court to make a finding of ineffective assistance of counsel. And as a result, the court finds that counsel has been effective during the course of these proceedings, and the court denies the defendant's motion to remove counsel. Do you understand, sir?
So is they going to violate my rights under federal and state law and not give me a fair trial? Is because that's what they're doing? Is they going to do their job?
Sir, I've denied your motion for Nelson, so that I'm not removing them from representing you. You now have a choice. You can work with your attorneys. We're going to take like a 10-minute break so you and your attorneys can talk about what it is that you want them to do. And then I'm going to come back and give you options. The options are, I'm going to tell you ahead of time because it's not a secret. You can keep your counsel. You can fire your counsel, but then the court can make my own ruling concerning whether or not you can fire your counsel, or you can hire new counsel. I don't believe you have the funds to hire new counsel. Is that correct?
Okay.
Am I right in that?
No.
You have money to hire an accountant?
No.
Okay. So it's really two options then. You can keep your counsel or you can fire your counsel, but I can tell you that I can kind of overrule that if I make the necessary findings. So those are your options, but I think we should probably take a pause.
Okay.
And allow you to talk to your counsel, sort of lay out all of your grievances with them, and they'll tell you what they can and can't do, because I can tell you that there's certain things they can't do. The rules of evidence, the rules of professionalism, their oath as attorneys precludes them from doing
I'm firing them. I'm firing them.
Okay. So before you do that, I'm going to ask you to take a minute. We're going to meet. I'm going to ask, is 11B clear? Can you go check? I'm going to take a minute so you can talk to your attorneys, and then we're going to come back out and we're going to talk about whether you still want to fire them, okay?
All right.
Okay, so Mr. Williams, the other courtroom that we've been using is not clear, another judge is using it. So I'm going to have you and your attorneys go into the holding cell so that you and they can have a discussion, and then we'll come and get you in about 10 minutes, okay? I'm asking you to do that, sir. Please do that, okay? You're going to go back in the holding cell. Counsel, do you want to take the letter, the filing, which is the original? Deputy. Mr. Williams, have you had a chance to talk with your attorneys?
Yeah. What? Is it working?
I'm not sure I can hear you though.
Yeah, yo. Yeah, I still want to fire them because they just restricted my ability to communicate with the jury. And I never asked for a lawyer, and I want to exercise my state and federal right to represent myself. And I never asked for a lawyer, and I want to exercise my rights.
Okay. So, Mr. Williams, you remember I told you before we took the break that yes, you can seek to exercise your right to fire your attorney, but the court still has the role to ensure that your overall constitutional rights are protected. And in this particular instance, based on, in part, on your diagnosis of schizophrenia, I am not going to remove your counsel. Your counsel is going to remain, and they're going to represent you effectively throughout the case. And I want to just give you, I need to put it on the record, the cases that I'm relying on and the holdings from those cases. So in the case of Indiana versus Edwards, found at 554 U.S. 164, it's a U.S. Supreme Court case from 2008. The court in that case said that the Constitution permits states to insist upon representation by counsel for those competent enough to stand trial under Dusky, which is the competency standard. As you remember, Dr. Alexander examined you, I believe it was last night, and found that you were competent to testify, as he has throughout these proceedings, but who still suffer from severe mental illness to the point where they are not competent to conduct trial proceedings by themselves. The trial court, me, will be best able to fine-tune the mental capacity decisions tailored to individualized circumstances of a particular defendant. The court finds that because of your mental illness, self-representation will threaten your overall constitutional rights and potentially result in an improper conviction or sentence. I'm also relying on the Panetti versus Stevens case, found at 727 F. 3rd 398. It's a Fifth Circuit case from 2013. So while I understand and appreciate, sir, that you want to fire your attorneys, because I am in the best position to determine.
This seemed like discriminating against mentally. This seemed like discrimination against a disabled person.
Well, I'm not discriminating. I'm not discriminating against you because you're a disabled person. I am freely trying to protect you because of your disability. Your attorneys are going to abide by the rules of professionalism. They are going to abide by the evidentiary rules, and they will seek to introduce any evidence that is proper. I will make the ultimate rulings concerning whether or not that evidence is admissible or not admissible, and you can blame me, not your attorneys, for the failure of any evidence that you want to have admitted being admitted. It's not their fault, it's my fault at the end of the day if you want to put fault on someone. The evidence,
and also,
if you're gonna, you remember we were talking about being respectful? If you
okay, go ahead.
Thank you. So if you have an issue with regard to any of the evidence, it's not them, it's me. I'm making the evidentiary rulings to make sure that we have a fair trial and all parties have an opportunity to have all the admissible evidence presented. Okay, sir?
Only thing my attorneys are doing is just restricting my abilities to communicate with the jury and not doing what I asked them to do.
Well, you're going to be able to communicate with the jury in the form of questions and answers. So we're going to put you back on the stand in a little bit, and your attorneys will ask all appropriate and admissible questions, and you can answer them. And that will be your opportunity to communicate with the jury. Okay?
All right.
Okay. So we're going to, I gave the jurors a break because we had these issues that we needed to address. I told them to come back at 11. So you can continue to work with your attorneys concerning all that you want to have admitted, all the statements that you want the jury to hear. You can fine tune that during this break. And then we're going to put you back on the stand, and your attorneys will then ask you questions concerning this case and whatever defenses you want to raise. Then the state has an opportunity to cross-examine you and ask their own questions of you, and you will have to answer those questions to the extent that those questions are appropriate and also admissible. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And then that your attorneys will have then a last opportunity to continue to ask you any other follow-up questions after the state has asked their questions. Again, it has to be legally admissible and appropriate. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay. So do you have all those questions that you wanted your attorneys to ask? You have that list?
It's right there.
Okay. When we come back on the stand, you can have that with you, and we'll start those questions. Okay, sir?
Okay.
Anything else to address before we recess until 11? Yes. So, Mr. Williams, when your attorneys were up here just a minute ago, they wanted me to allow them to ask you those questions that you wanted to be asked. Okay? And then we'll go through the process of them asking you the questions. The state may have an objection, and then I'll rule on the objection, and then you can answer the question. Okay?
Oh, so you seen the question list?
I have it. I don't need to see it. As long as you've seen it and your attorneys have seen it, I can hear it.
So she's gonna ask me all the questions on the list.
I don't know about all the questions, but she's going to ask you some of the questions because you wanted to talk about the police report, the gang stalking.
No.
You don't want to talk about that anymore?
We supposed to go down.
You're going to go through that list in a little bit, but you wanted to go through, remember those 3 topics? They're going to talk about those 3 topics right now.
We supposed to go over the entire list.
Well, we don't have time really to go over the entire list now because the jury's going to come back in a little bit. So let's just go over the 3 things you told me about on the record: the police report, the gang stalking, and the Yeah, she's going to ask you those questions. Yeah, she's going to ask you those questions now, sir. Sir, I don't know about the entire thing because we don't have time for the entire thing right now. We'll do most of the entire thing in front of the jury, but they're going to ask you those questions now. Okay?
Okay. Are we going to complete before the end of my trial?
We're going to.
All my questions?
I presume so. Either the ones that are admissible or not admissible, but the ones that are not admissible, we're going to go through now so that you can understand why they're not admissible. Okay?
Okay. Well, so I want to go through my whole I want to go through all my questions, and the ones that are not admissible, just go ahead and scratch them out, and we do the ones that are admissible.
That's what the plan is.
Okay. Well, she can scratch them out now. You going to scratch them out the ones that's not admissible?
Can we go do that now, sir?
Well, yeah, she's going to scratch out the ones not admissible, right?
Well, she's going to ask the questions because I think you want to hear them out loud, right?
No. Well, yeah. You want me to talk out loud so you can put them on record?
Yes. No. Stay right where you are.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's fine.
Okay, Mr. Williams, I wanted to go through the police report that was filed in your case. Okay?
Oh, I thought this was about questions that couldn't be asked, not my police report.
I believe the court is ruling that that may be a question.
You wanted to talk about the police report, so we're going to talk about the police report. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right, are you able to see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to grab my pen and you can just...
I thought we was going to do this in front of the jury, right?
No, we're not doing it in front of the jury because I have to make the rulings before that. So then you'll know the questions that can't be asked in front of the jury.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So are you able to see at least the top of the police report?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is it about the police report that was filed in your case that is not accurate?
I'm going to object to hearsay and improper opinion.
Sustained.
Okay. See, actually, I can't even see that.
So that's one of the questions we're going to scratch off the list
I didn't say anything. She
I know
said
that.
something.
because she can make evidentiary objections, which she just did.
Okay.
So that question's going to be scratched off the list, okay?
Okay.
Next question.
All right, Mr. Williams. The next question I wanted to ask...
So scratch it off on your list too, sir, because when you take it up on the bench, I don't want you to forget that that question can't be
Well,
asked.
she's supposed to be working for me. Let her do it.
Okay, that's fine. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page as to what's being scratched off the list.
Mr. Williams, can you tell us about how the police tried to set you up to attack people in other states?
I'm going to object to relevance and improper opinion.
Sustained. So that's going to be scratched off the list, okay, Mr. Williams?
Okay.
Next question.
I want to talk to you about various fungus on your body.
Objection, relevance.
Sustained. So, Mr. Williams, that's going to be scratched off the list as well. Okay?
Okay.
I also want to ask you next, Mr. Williams, about your face being sunken in and individuals calling you old and ugly.
Objection, relevance.
Sustained. So, Mr. Williams, that's another question being scratched off the list, okay?
All right.
And Mr. Williams, as we talk about your YouTube videos, are there times when you're recording things involving juveniles from far away? If so, why are you doing that?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained. Mr. Williams, that's another question that's being scratched off the list.
What were you trying to prove when you were recording those videos?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained. Mr. Williams, that's another question that's being scratched off the list.
Can you tell us about the symbolic nature or meaning of the various funguses on your body?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained. That's another question being scratched off the list.
So can I say something? So I'm saying that I was set up by the Masons in the criminal organization. That's why I didn't stay there. My whole police report is fake. they believe in numerology and symbology, and I want to discuss all this so the jury understand that I was set up.
Mr. Williams,
And,
you said that yesterday. I don't know if you
So
remember that.
that's why I'm saying since I was under attack by a criminal organization, that's why I'm saying that all of this is relevant to my case.
But you said all of that yesterday. You remember that?
Okay.
Okay. So we can't have you saying it all over again because that.
Okay, I was thinking maybe you didn't understand that I was under attack by a
I
criminal
have a feeling the
organization.
jury is. I believe the jury is listening intently to everything you say and writing notes, as you probably have noticed. So-
All right.
Can you tell us about your history of being sexually assaulted in the jails?
Objection, relevant.
Sustained.
Can you tell us why?
Mr. Williams, that's another question that's being scratched off the
Okay.
list.
Can you tell us why they use the code word inmate?
Objection.
Code word what?
Inmate.
Okay. And what you
Relevant.
sustained? That's another question being scratched off the list.
In terms of the goals of gang stalking, is blood sacrifices part of that?
Objection, relevant.
Sustained. That's another question being scratched off.
Okay,
the list.
can I address the court?
You can.
I also wanted to review Ryan's clothing to prove that his family did symbolic, dressed him in symbolic clothing to prove that he was a human sacrifice from the Mason Illuminati, which is connected to gang stalking, which the police and everybody that set me up for this, they believe in numerology and symbology, which numerology is number codes that mean words. And they left all this in his murder. So I want to review the clothing to prove that.
All right. You talked about all of that yesterday, the numerology, the Illuminati, and the other, I forgot the other thing you just said. All of that was discussed yesterday, so that can't come in anymore because the jury has already heard that.
So the main thing is I want to review his clothing and review the symbology and to prove that he was human sacrificed by his family.
Your attorneys have already investigated the case, so that has already happened, the review of
No,
the
I wanted to
evidence.
review it myself with my attorney.
Well, that can't happen. I'm not allowing that to happen. Okay, sir?
Mm. So since you're making all these decisions, so what can be, what do you believe is relevant to my case so I can communicate and say these things, because I am being set up and under attack by a massive criminal organization. So what questions do you think are relevant that I could ask so I can be able to communicate to the jury what happened?
Well, I can't help you with that, but I can tell you that the list of the questions that you have, now we have a list of the questions that can be asked, because I've already ruled on the questions that cannot be asked. So you should have the list, because I think you said you wanted your attorney to do it.
Yeah, let him scratch out the ones that you ain't allowing.
She's scratching them out. So now she's going to go over with you the questions that can be asked. And those are the questions that will be asked when the jury comes back.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Any more questions, Ms. Gajari? Yes. So, Mr. Williams, we've now gone through all the questions that can be asked and can't be asked, and your attorney's going to take the next 6 minutes to go over those questions with you, and then we'll bring the jury out. Well, we'll put you back on the stand, then bring the jury out, and then start those questions, okay?
Well, can I ask the jury if they would like to write the information down?
They have notes. I already told them that they can write notes down when we started the trial, so they have notepads and pens, and they're writing notes.
All right.
All right. So, and you can't ask the jury any questions because only the attorneys can ask questions. They can only ask questions of the witnesses, okay?
All right.
So we're going to take a break so you can go over the questions that will be asked of you, and then we'll restart the trial. Okay, sir?
All right.
Mr. Williams, you went over those questions with your attorney?
Yeah, it's a little list here, a small list.
All right. You ready to take the stand to complete your questions?
Yeah.
All right.
You ready?
I am. Yes, sir. All right. You're still under oath? And are you ready to bring in the jury, sir?
Yeah.
State?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes.
Let's bring in the jury, please.
Jury enter.
Please be seated. Happy pre-Friday to you. Ms. Scaggery, do you wish to continue inquiry?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please proceed.
Okay. All right, Mr. Williams. I believe where we left off yesterday, we were talking about your YouTube channel and how you were documenting some of this gang stalking that you were going through.
Yeah.
Okay. And at this time, defense would move defense exhibit 5 into evidence. I believe it would be over the state's objection.
Previously stated objections.
Is that the video that we reviewed
Yes.
yesterday? Okay. Exhibit 5 admitted over objection?
Permission to publish?
Yes.
Can you see the screen, Mr. Williams?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the guy in the green, he symbolizes the free person. If you're free, they're gonna cripple you and destroy you because they Satanists, so they have a very mean way of looking at things. They believe in do what you want, do what thou wilt.
Okay.
And that's why I say the free person is they're gonna destroy you. That's the message that they send him in. The guy in the red represents is blood and the violent. It means violent person, and you're gonna see them cross and do a pyramid. They
Okay.
believe in doing a lot of pyramids.
Okay,
which,
so I'm gonna stop you for a second.
Yeah.
And just because the screen is paused now as 3 seconds into the video, okay?
Yeah,
So
you're
I'm
gonna see him do the pyramid.
Okay, I'm gonna walk over to the screen. So this individual, when you're talking about green, is the individual in the wheelchair?
Yeah, the green means free person. They're trying to do a symbology saying that if I want to be free, they're going to destroy me and put me in a wheelchair.
Okay, and then you mentioned red.
Yeah,
which is
red
the
means
person-
like human sacrifice or a violent person. They believe in symbology and numerology, which is letters that means words. Like 20 means slave, 10 means drop a dime, and also 14 means they add, if the number doesn't have a meaning, they add once or twice. So 14 add together would be 5,
Okay.
which means kill. But
Okay.
anything that you do with your hands.
She's going to ask her next question.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So as the screen is paused at 3 seconds into this video, what you're recording is some of the symbolism, I believe is what you're describing.
Yeah, I had over 300 videos. This is one of them, yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the videos where you were documenting this harassment of gang stalking?
Yeah, you're going to see them make the pyramid.
Okay, so I'm going to hit play because you've already described what the green and the red mean.
Yeah. You're going to see them create the pyramid there. That's 1, 2 guys, and you're going to see the other guy do a pyramid. I had over 300 videos. They're just showing one here.
Okay, so I'm going to continue to play.
That's the 2 guys, and that's the one right there.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it at 14 seconds into the video. The individual with the white shirt you're saying is the third individual to form.
Create the pyramid, yeah. They believe the Freemason Illuminati and Satanism is all connected to gang stalking, and they believe they have been secretly influencing American society, and a lot of presidents with Freemason. That's why they put the pyramid on a dollar bill, which they secretly worship Satan, and the our dollar bill is Satan.
Okay, so in this video, ultimately what you were
which is the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill.
Okay, so what you were documenting in this video is just kind of some of the proof of this gang stalking harassment that you.
Yeah, I had over 300 videos, but they only showing one.
Mr. Williams, you have to let her finish the question.
Okay.
So that the court reporter can take down what's being said.
Okay.
Finish your question.
So this is one of the 300 YouTube videos that you had that kind of documented this harassment that was taking place with the gang stalking.
Well, it was roughly 300, but it was hundreds of them. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Now, Mr. Williams, can you kind of tell us some of the things that the police did as it relates to them being part of this gang stalking that made you afraid throughout your life, ultimately?
What they did? What now? Let's see. Tell us something to make you free to get your life, and tell us how. Okay, well, so yeah, he threatened to kill me 2020 because I put up so they claimed, they tried to trick me and claimed that I did something bad because they work in the law enforcement, and so I was just concerned. So I put up so I did research about them, and I found out that they was involved in giving people diseases, and they was involved in having sex with children any age under 16, and so I figured if I told some people about them, maybe some people would help me. So I didn't really know a lot about them at the time. I was new to the gang stalking thing, even though they had been watching me for years. So what I did is I was homeless, and I went in the dumpster, and I put cardboard signs all over the city. And
did they retaliate against you and intensify their kind of targeting of you after that?
Yeah, I was at the homeless shelter. So if you're not targeted, they act like normal people. They just wear regular clothes and stuff. But if you target it, then that's when they expose themselves by doing hand signs and certain body movements. And because they can't target everybody. If they did, then they wouldn't be a secret. Then people would go against them. That's why they call themselves a secret society.
And I understand yesterday, part of your testimony, you did describe for us what a targeted individual was. And you kind of went through some of the I believe you said numerology and secret code language that they use. So ultimately, this kind of harassment and targeting that you're going through with law enforcement, going to November 15th of 2021, is that related to ultimately why when you were walking down the road, you did not stay on scene?
So, okay, let's see here. So is this supposed to be related to the first question you asked me?
Yes.
Okay, so Yeah, it's related. It's related to why I didn't stay there. Yeah, because I was really traumatized by them, and they had attacked me in several different states, and I was traumatized by them, and I didn't really feel comfortable talking to them, and because all the things they did to me, and so I did feel comfortable talking to them at first, but I start traveling from state to state to get away from them, and then they was letting me know that they are part of it through like symbolism, the 666, 666.
Okay, so
That equals
just to
6.
put some words to what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Okay.
It looks like you threw up a sign that
This right here, they believe a lot of not all the time, but sometimes they believe in doing good. Good means bad. So the good means
So the circle part of your
so,
your index finger and your yeah.
yeah.
Hold on one second.
One second. One
one
second.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put words to what you're putting up.
Okay.
Don't
All right,
say
so-
anything right now. Just let your attorney speak.
Okay.
So you have your thumb and your index finger connecting and making a circle.
Yeah.
What does that mean when they throw up that part of the sign?
Well, the criminal organization that set me up for this crime, they believe in symbology, hand signs, and numerology. So this would be the 666, and that would be a 6, which is the seal of Satan. So we people call it the OK sign, but sometimes they believe in good means bad. They believe in doing opposites sometimes. They believe in doing things backwards, and they also add numbers sideways, and they subtract in their numerology. Numerology is numbers that means words.
Okay.
And this is devil horns, which means Satan.
Okay. So I'm gonna stop you here.
Okay.
You can hold your hand up. I'm just gonna put some words to what you're holding up.
Yeah, I told you what it means.
Yeah. Can you put your hand up again in that sign?
I said, yeah, it's Satan. That's what it means.
Okay.
I don't like holding that up, but yeah, it's Satan.
Okay, I understand. So the pinky as well as the
Nah,
index.
it's just these two.
Yes.
Just these two here.
The pinky and the index finger. That is
Yeah,
another.
that means Satan's devil horns.
Okay, and that is another sign or symbol.
That's a sign of the gangstalking program that I've been a victim of most of my life. That I became aware of it for roughly like 10 years. I've become aware of it, and the Masons the Masons run the gangstalking program, which is the method of destruction that I was a part of, and they the ones that set up me and Ryan. And as you can see by the videos that the hundreds of videos that I recorded, they just played one. You can see that I believe that I was being followed by a massive criminal organization, and also the prosecutor played a video when I was speaking about the police was also following me.
Okay. So when you're saying we're talking over this overall umbrella about the gang stalking, the term which is being done by an organization that is run by the Masons, and you being a targeted individual by this, I guess, Masonic organization.
The target individual program is mostly operated by Masons that work in all jobs. Some of them are in law enforcement, and they do work with some people, and they lie to them. They tell them lies, and some of them are not actually Masons.
Okay. And I believe one of the other things you said was that they have various goals, and one of those goals is to set people up for crimes.
Yeah, the goal of gang stalking is to harass the victim, attack him with secret, well, I wouldn't say secret, but electronic weapons that's not well known, like V2K, different type of electronic weapons to attack the victim, basically like harass the victims, stalk the victim, make them angry, set them up for crimes. So it's basically meant to destroy the victim. So in my case, they actually tried to control me, and I turned them down 5 different times. I told them that I didn't want nothing to do with them, but they wouldn't accept my answers. So the program is basically meant to either either kill you or put you in prison. Like that's basically meant for your destruction. So that's what it's meant. And so they attacking a small number of us. We call us target individuals, but they have plans to attack everybody in society because they believe in do whatever you want. They have a very mean way of looking at things. Kind of similar. It's kind of similar to the New World Order, basically.
Okay. Now, I know you talked about the last goal is essentially setting up individuals for crimes, and specifically, is that what is happening here?
So it's still related to the first question that you asked me?
I believe I'm closer to my almost last question for you.
This is not, no, so you didn't let me know that you was actually going from question to question. So what question are you on?
Well, now I want to know, now that we've talked about some of the goals of gang stalking and the last goal.
So you didn't let me know that you was going to different questions.
Okay.
So what question are you on now?
Okay, so my question for you is understanding what you've explained to us about the goals of gang stalking, and one of those goals being that they set people up for crimes, specifically as where it relates to this case.
So you're not letting me. You're not letting me know when you're going to the next question. So I don't even know.
Counsel, just tell him what question you're on, please.
Okay, so I'm now asking you the second to last question.
Second to last question. Okay. So you hear is the question that you in. So actually,
so why do you believe that the organization that was gang stalking you set you up for this crime? This.
Well, okay. Masons, high level Masons believe basically worship the devil. So it's relating to Satanism. So women and teenage girls, they talk a lot about baby breeding, and they sacrifice children in order to please Satan is what they believe. So Ryan was born 2007 and died 2021, and you subtract that as 14. He died, and his age was 14. He was born on the 16th. It was human sacrifice on the 16th. So, and they take a lot of things from the King James Bible. So when you offer something to God, and when He picks it up, it's called a sacrifice. So they had him murdered on the 15th, and the Mason police picked him up on the 16th. That's human sacrifice, and their numerology is really advanced. So a felon is a code word for a fallen one, fallen man. So if you if you do the day that he was born and the year, a year and a day, anything over a year and a day is a felony. And if you add the 16 sideways, which is 7, and you add that with the year that he was born, equals 14. So he has all these same numbers, and if you they do believe in adding sideways. So if you add 1 through 9 sideways, you can get 80 different numbers. So why do they keep using these same numbers over and over again? Because he was born for a human sacrifice by the Mason Illuminati that operated gang stalking program that's been terrorizing me for over 10 years. And also he died by 95, which is you add that sideways, was also each 14. And then you add, which that's another 14. If you add that again, which if you add the 14 sideways, equals 5. So anything that you can do with your hand means 5 in a secret numerology. And so 5 means beat the person, kill, or it can mean sex. Basically anything you can do with your hands because you have 5 fingers. And so yeah, that means 5. So they said that he was in the by the Passover. I mean overpass, and they also believe in doing things backwards sometimes. So it says Passover, and Passover. It says 95, then Passover, which is so if you add 95 twice, if you add 95, you 14. You add it again, which is 5. So they believe in adding sideways in their numerology. So that's kill, Passover. That's what they wrote in my case information, because they believe in numerology, and they believe in leaving hidden messages and the crimes that they do to hundreds, no, thousands of unknown victims throughout American society. In my case, it's particularly being high profile. Like, Trayvon Martin was also a high profile, what they was behind as well.
Okay.
And
So my next question for you is, can you explain, kind of going back to November 15th of 2021, how dark it was when you were kind of looking for a place to get away from this gang stalking?
okay, I also wanted to so later on we're gonna discuss about how the DNA and the cell phone information is a lie, right?
If you would like to tell us about that.
Or we're gonna discuss that too? Okay.
Ask the first question, and he needs to answer the question that you asked.
Okay. Do you remember the question I asked you before?
Or you want to talk about, was that actually one of the questions?
She's going to ask it again. Just
okay.
Ask the question again.
Can you kind of explain how dark it was when you were kind of walking and looking for a place to get away from this gang stalking?
So actually what happened is that I was I was sleeping in the bushes, and they broke my 3 cell phones, and I was at the shelter, and then after that I left the shelter, and the man came up to me at the park, was another homeless guy. He was telling me that he knew a place that could help me out with a lot of shoes and clothes and stuff like that. But he didn't tell me the city or anything. He just told me he just gave me the name of the he told me to go on the Miami station. He said go all the way to the last stop, and he gave me street names, but he didn't tell me the city or anything. And he told me that it opens up around like 7:50. So that I was in the area, and it was pitch black dark, and it was no lights there. And
are you talking about the sidewalk where?
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So I heard somebody screaming for help, and I ran up there to help him, and the person that attacked him, he ran beside me, and he but it was pitch black dark. I couldn't see his face, and so a lot of the pictures that they show you about the crime scene, it shows you that it was right next to the road. So as if somebody was getting attacked or something, if somebody getting attacked or something, if somebody was getting attacked or something, the cars on the side of the road would have seen it. So that shows you just how dark it was. That's another indicator that it was a setup. And they take a lot of the words from the Bible. So 7 is the number of completion, because God completed the world in the 7th day. So they set us up in the 7th hour, which is completion of the setup, because they believe in numerology, which is numbers that means words, and they believe in leaving hidden messages. So in their crimes they do, they tell the truth about it through hidden messages, and they also believe in doing hand signs. So so basically, okay. So,
Okay. I believe you.
so
did-
that's another indicator whether it's set up because it was pitch black dark and it's right next to the road and no cars seeing what happened.
Okay.
And so the guy ran past and I ran. I was close to him, and I could see like a shadow figure, but I couldn't really see him. And then I pulled his bike. I was pulling his bike, and I took it off of him a little bit, and I tried to wake him up, but he wouldn't get up, and so I figured maybe he was hurt. I'm thinking he was knocked out, so I went up. I went back and I came towards the road, and so by that time the guy had left, and so I went in my book bag to get my flashlight, but I couldn't find it, and that must have been when I got some blood in my bag, and so the indicator that it was a setup, just how pitch black dark it was. So I didn't kill him, but if I would have killed him on the road, those cars right next to the crime scene would have seen me attack him. So they take a lot of their words. They take a lot of their words from the Bible. That's the 7 means completion because God finished making the world the 7th day, and 8 means the beginning. And that's why they picked me up on the 26th, which you add that sideways was 8, beginning of the setup, and they also they also took 10 days. They also took 10 days to pick me up, which means you drop a dime told secrets. Well, I didn't. They targeted me. I didn't never tell the secrets, but I don't agree with them anyways. But they feel like I told them secrets, and then I also took 20 days to arrest me, which that means slave. And so they also so they feel like all people are slaves secretly. That's why on the Marluxian soup cup, it's 20 letters, which means slave. And Marluxian, the Marluxian, the M on the Marluxian soup cup is the M is Hebrew for, it means devil, and on the soup cup it has a O on the bottom of it, and Old English O means you, so that means you are on the feet of the devil. So he's seen a secret message to all people in American society, even the world, that they believe that everybody is slaves, and they believe that you are feet of the devil and their God is Satan.
Okay. And as you're kind of talking about how dark it was, why did you not stay there after?
Because I didn't have a cell phone on me. That's why in my police report information it doesn't say anything about. It only talks about Ryan's cell phone because I didn't have a cell phone. That's why the cell phone lady lied. Then she says that she was tracking me that whole time, but she said she can't track you while your phone is off. And she said that I turned my phone off like 11 in the morning.
Okay.
Which not yeah.
And understanding kind of what you've kind of been through, this torture and being kind of traumatized by this organization that has relation to law enforcement. Is that why you didn't stay when you couldn't help that individual?
Well, I want so it's kind of strange, like is anybody saying that I'm lying about that my case facts that my case facts that the officers swore to does not mention me, only mentions Ryan's cell phone because I didn't have one? Is anybody going to dispute that?
Okay. I understand. But my question for you was, being that it was dark and you were unable to help the individual, and you didn't have your cell phone at that time, and we're kind of talking about how you've been gang stalked. I believe you mentioned for over 10 years. Is that the reason why you didn't kind of stay on at that location for fear of law enforcement or being further traumatized by law enforcement that had been gang stalking you?
So, yeah, so because I was being attacked, because I've been attacked by them for so many years and I didn't have a phone, and I just didn't feel comfortable talking to him, so I just asked somebody else to call the police, and as you can see, that's why I had hundreds of videos. That's why I have hundreds of videos, and on the videos I talk about the police and people following me, and people came to court and testified I had 100 videos. That's why I didn't, feel comfortable staying there. I just asked somebody else to call police. And also that same night when I was walking down the road, it was two women in the road and one man on the sidewalk. So I guess they felt like I was going to get angry and maybe do something. And the woman said, "Forget this, I'm out of here." And she ran in the house. And they was also in threes as well. So I guess they was going to have some people run out of the house, and the man in the scooter was going to attack me. I mean, yeah, was going to attack me, yeah. So those are the goal of gang stalking, harass the victim, set the victim up for crimes, torture the victim, and set the victim up for crimes. It's called gang stalking. It's also called organized stalking.
Okay.
And so it gets really advanced. Because they work in all jobs, they have really advanced technology, unbelievable
She's
technology.
she's gonna ask another question, Mr.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. If I could just have one moment.
Yes.
I don't have any further questions for you at this time, Mr. Williams, but the prosecutor is going to have a couple questions for you, okay?
Yeah.
Can we just have a moment?
Yes.
Judge, the state doesn't need to hear anything further from Mr. Williams. We have no questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll bring you back in a few minutes. Enjoy your break. No texting, tweeting, blogging, emailing, sending, or accepting messages, communications of any kind about this case or your jury service. Thank you.
Oh.
Jurors have left. Deputies, if you could escort Mr. Williams back to his seat. You all. Counsel approach. Let's bring in the jury.
Jury entering.
Please be seated. Defense, call your next witness. Ladies and gentlemen, please go back into the jury room. Jury is left. Mr. Williams, what's wrong?
These are big pieces of evidence against me that I must discuss that it's a lie. The DNA and the deputy lying saying I killed Ryan is very, I have to discuss that.
You addressed that in the questions that Ms. Gashery asked you. You talked about the DNA.
Oh, I didn't, I need to go in more detail about it.
Well, the questions have already been asked.
Well,
Counsel approach. Counsel approach. 1 second, Mr. Williams. So, Mr. Williams,
Yeah.
based on your desire to have more questions asked, I'm going to have you meet with your attorneys to address those questions. Then I'll come back out on the bench. They will ask those questions outside of the presence of the jury. If the state has an objection and the objection is sustained, that means that the question will not go before the jury. If they ask a question to which the question is appropriate and legally admissible, I'll bring the jury back out so that question can be asked of you. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're in recess for how much time do you need, counsel? 5 minutes? All right, I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Order.
Please be seated. Counsel, defense counsel, have you had an opportunity to confer with your client concerning the questions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have those questions formulated?
Yes.
Mr. Williams, does he have a mic?
Okay, yeah.
What are those questions?
Okay. How do you know for a fact that it is a lie that your DNA was under Ryan's fingernails and the police set you up?
Seems legally admissible. Is there an objection from the state? No. Next question.
How can you prove for a fact that the deputy lied when he said you told him you killed Ryan?
What's the next one?
Those are the only two.
Okay, Mr. Williams, we've been having the jury go back and forth a lot. I want to make sure that this is the last set of questions that you want to have asked. Are there any other questions? Because we need to get this case to conclusion.
Can we discuss the cell phone again in case they didn't hear me?
I'm sure they heard you, sir. We're not going to rehash or re-go over stuff that's already been addressed.
Okay, I think I got everything.
Are you sure? Because when I bring the jury out and ask these two
Do
questions,
you think I missed something, attorney?
you need to have that discussion outside the mic. So talk to your attorneys to see if there's anything else that you think they missed. Do you feel you're good? Are there any other questions that you feel need to be asked, sir? Because this is the last pass.
I'm okay. I think I'm good.
All right, we're going to put you back on the stand.
Okay.
I'm going to have you be sworn in again because we took you off the stand, so that kind of released the oath that you took. So we're going to re-swear you in and then ask those two questions, okay? So let's go take the stand.
Can I take my pen with me?
Yes, sir. You can take pen, pad, whatever you want. Almost whatever you want. Are you ready, state?
Yes.
Defense? Counsel? Mr. Williams, are you ready for us to bring in the jury?
Yeah.
Let's bring in the jury.
Jury entering.
Please be seated. Ms. Micklea, please swear in Mr. Williams again. Mr. Williams, please stand up. The clerk is going to swear you in again. The other right hand.
Yes.
Counsel, do you wish to inquire?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Mr. Williams, how do you know for a fact that it is a lie that your DNA was under Ryan's fingernails and the police set you up?
Well, so by Florida state law, I have the right to know all criminating information against me. So I got my motion to discovery, and it's all sworn facts by the police officers. That means that everything in my discovery is sworn to be true by the police officers. And it says that Ryan autopsy was completed on the 19th of 2021. And the way how they found me was they had my DNA. because I had got into some trouble because of the gang stalking, which was another setup, and so that's how they had my DNA, and so they had the DNA and the autopsy was done. It was done by November the 19th. Everything was done, and they didn't come and question me until the 26th of November. So when they questioned me, they already had my DNA. They already had my DNA, and Ryan's autopsy was already completed on the 19th. So anytime anybody is murdered, especially with a knife, they're going to automatically check for DNA under their nails. Automatic. And they didn't arrest me. They let me go. So that's one huge clue that's a lie, that I had my DNA under his nails. The Mason police lied on me some point in time after my arrest. I think it was in 2025 is when they made up this lie.
Okay.
That's what I believe. So I want to go furthermore with it. And
Just gonna ask your next question.
no, this is the same thing. Here's the DNA. I'm still on the DNA. So so they finally arrest me 20 days later. They did 3 DNAs, and his autopsy had been completed on the 19th. So his autopsy was completed November the 19th, 2021, and they didn't arrest me until December the 1st. And so they did 3 DNAs, and his autopsy was done on the 19th. So all that time, they didn't mention DNA under his nails and my case information. They didn't mention DNA under his nails and my case information. So that's a huge clue that's a lie. So at some point in time, the Mason police that had been gang stalking me, they made up a lie that my DNA was on his fingernails. Plus, my attorney Scott has did a lot of murder cases, and I did my Barifa trial, and he stated in my trial that my case, that there's evidence against me was just circumstantial. So he wouldn't say that DNA under Ryan's nails is circumstantial. And the state made a comment about it, and the state didn't say that he was wrong, which means that was 10 months after Ryan had been deceased.
All right,
so that means at some point in time, I think 2025, the Masons police or somebody in the Masons made up a lie that I had my DNA, that my DNA was on the Ryan's fingernails.
Okay. And my last question for you is, how can you prove for a fact that the Deputy McCabe is lying when he said you told him you killed Ryan?
Well, Deputy McKay is a Mason, and there's a lot of criminal organizations that work in the jail that I'm in. So even if they move me to another jail, they also work in other jails. So that's when my life's in danger. So if anything happens to me, they did it. And so basically, they believe in counting letters, and they also count words. So could she bring me the paper with what he said? Is that okay?
Why do you need
I
it to?
have the paper on how he lied on me. Can I?
You want to review it to refresh your recollection?
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Who? Yes. So, Mr. Williams, you can only review it, but you can't read from it. You understand?
Okay. Can't read from it. Okay. So,
just review it quietly.
Okay.
And when you finish reviewing it, Ms. Gajri will ask you her next question, okay?
No, this is actually, no, this is, hold on. question. This must be. Okay, okay.
Are you ready for her to ask her next question?
Okay, okay.
Are you ready, sir?
Yeah, hold on one more time. Okay, okay.
You ready for her to ask
Yeah.
her next?
Mhm.
Ask your question.
Okay. So my question for you is, how can you prove for a fact that Deputy McCabe lied when he said you told him you killed Ryan at booking?
So that the Masons believe in counting numbers and words. So when the police in the statement that he wrote here, he uses 10 words in the statement, which means drop a dime, you told a secret. And he also used the 10 a lot in my case information. And Ryan Mothers called at 10:30 to the police because they believe in leaving secret messages, and they believe in telling the truth. They believe in telling the truth through secret messages, and they also believe in telling the truth through numerology, numbers that mean words. So in the statement that he made about me, he uses 10 words and a pyramid, which means you drop the dime, you tell a secret. Ryan Mother also called at 10:30. And so that's a huge clue that he's lying on me. Plus he has no proof. He said that I threatened him and I said I killed Ryan, and they dropped the case about me threatening him because he can't prove it. He was a Mason and he lied on me.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
And okay, that's it.
Okay.
I think I got everything.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Williams. I don't have any further questions. Your Honor.
Cross?
That's still it from the state, Judge. No questions.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a brief break and we'll bring you back out. Thank you. No texting, tweeting, blogging, emailing, sending or accepting messages, communications of any kind about this case or your jury service. Enjoy your brief break. Counsel approach. Yes, sir, you can have a seat. Actually, you can go back to sit in your normal chair, not here, okay? You're going back to the table. Let's bring in the jury. Please be seated. Defense, call your next witness. Any rebuttal witnesses from the state?
No rebuttal witnesses from the state.
Ladies and gentlemen, this completes the evidentiary portion of the trial. The attorneys and I have to work together to draft what's called, we have a charge conference where we talk about the instructions that the court intends to give to you. So we need to take a break to do that. And then when you come back, we'll begin with the final instructions, the closing arguments, and further instructions before your deliberation. We're going to need a little bit of time. Your lunch is not going to be here until 1. So what I would suggest is you take a 45-minute break to do whatever you want to clear your heads, because once you're deliberating, you can't leave. You all leave together. You all come together. You're one body at that point, because nobody can be by themselves at any time during the deliberations unless I recess you for the evening. So I would suggest that you enjoy the outdoors for the 45 minutes. Come get your lunch around 1, and then come back at 1:45 when we'll resume the trial as I've just outlined, okay? Even though the evidentiary portion of the case is completed, that doesn't mean that you can start your deliberations. You're still to be an open sponge, because you cannot start deciding the case until the court has given you the instructions, the attorneys have given their closing arguments, and I've given you your final instructions. So you're still an open sponge at this point. Not making any determinations, conclusions, or decisions, okay? Enjoy your break. No texting, tweeting, blogging, emailing, sending or accepting messages, communications of any kind about this case or your jury service. No reviewing any social media concerning this case. No reviewing any newspapers or any news accounts. Please, let's continue to keep on track so we can get this case to conclusion. Have a good break. 1 o'clock to get your lunch, and then 1:45. Please be seated. The jury is left. Motions from the defense?
Yes, Judge. At this time, at the close of all the evidence, the defense would renew our motion for judgment of acquittal at the higher standard. I would reiterate my arguments from the first JOA motion that the state has presented insufficient evidence that Mr. Williams was the one who killed Ryan, and also insufficient evidence as to premeditation. At this stage, we have the additional testimony of Mr. Williams, who testified that the reason he was in Palm Beach Gardens was to try to avoid or escape, for lack of a better term, the gang stalkers, that he testified he did not kill Ryan Rogers. He testified as an explanation as to why his DNA would be found on the scene. But he did not provide any additional evidence. Well, he provided an explanation that would go to his innocence. And so renewing my previous arguments with the additional...
Even though he provided an explanation concerning his innocence, isn't it still the standard in the evidence in the light most favorable to the state?
It is, Judge, yes. That no reasonable juror could find the state has presented evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Williams committed first-degree premeditated murder. And so at that standard, renewing my previous arguments with the addition of Mr. Williams' testimony, given that this is a circumstantial case, we would ask the court to grant our motion for judgment of acquittal.
Response?
State renews all arguments that were made previously at the first judgment of acquittal. Nothing that was presented in the defendant's case has changed the state's arguments, and a reasonable juror absolutely could find the defendant guilty of first-degree premeditated murder.
Does that complete your argument?
Yes.
Any further argument from the defense? Concerning the second motion for judgment of acquittal based on the reasonable juror standard, the court, taking the evidence in the light most favorable to the state, finds that there is sufficient evidence for a reasonable juror to convict Mr. Williams of the charged crime, and accordingly the court denies the defense's second motion for judgment of acquittal. Counsel, if you would pull up the instructions. If I recall, you all didn't have any issues with regard to the verdict form. Is that correct?
There was just a typo.
Oh, yes, the date. Thank you. If you would make sure that Mr. Williams has a copy of the instructions. You know what? I didn't edit them. Why don't I do this? Why don't I edit them based on the first charge conference, email them to you, and then we'll have the newest version of them. I haven't had a chance to do that. We also need to talk about or is the state still seeking to have that special instruction?
No.
Okay. So it's yes.
Just since you're making the edits right now, I know one of the things we had deferred on was the heat of passion.
Uh-huh.
We can agree to take out the heat of passion instruction
Okay.
for all of.
Okay.
State agrees.
Thank you. hopefully by the time you come back, I would have completed this. Do you want me to print it for Mr. Williams?
That would be lovely, Judge. Thank you.
Counsel, do you want it printed as well, or are you going to use your computers? Madam Court Reporter, do you need a printed version, or you're good?
If I may, Your Honor,
Yes?
on page 2, there's just a
printed
different.
it. Oh, you're looking at the new version?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, 1 second. I'm printing it now, so
Oh,
just
okay.
give me 1 second. Yes, on page 2?
The font is different.
Oh, yes, I forgot to do that, yes. Thanks. So assume that the font is correct now. I'll bring it out so that we can just go through it one more time before I start printing it for the jury. it's, the verdict is front and back. Mr. Williams,
Yeah.
we're going to go over the jury instructions now.
Okay.
I want you to follow along,
All right.
and then I'll have some questions for you after we finish, okay?
All right.
State you have a copy?
I do.
Okay. Starting with page 1, any objections to introduction to final instructions? State?
No.
Defense?
No.
Statement of the charge, any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
No.
Introduction to homicide, any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
No objection.
Justifiable homicide, oh, there's some issues, I'll underline it so it's consistent with the format, but other than that, justifiable homicide, any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
No objection.
Excusable homicide, any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
No objection other than the font thing, but I think you changed that.
Okay, I didn't delete, in this version, I didn't delete the
Heat of passion.
heat of passion for on page 3, so I'll delete that now. Going back to the instructions. Murder, first degree, any objections from this? And you, just so that you know, for the excusable homicide, I did change the font, so it is New Times Roman 14. Okay. Murder, first degree, any objections from the state?
No.
Defense? And I took out the heat of passion.
Yes. No
Okay.
objection.
Thanks. When there are lesser included crimes or attempts, any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
No objection.
Murder in the second degree, any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
No objection.
Manslaughter, any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
No objection. Oh, wait, actually, on page 8,
Uh-huh.
the third to last paragraph where it has weapon, the
Oh,
quote.
take out the quote. I get it. Actually, I need to put in the quote.
Yeah.
It needs an
It needs a quote, right. Okay. Other than that, change, let me change it now. Other than that change,
No objection.
state,
No objection.
plea of not guilty, reasonable doubt, and burden of proof, any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
No objection.
Weighing the evidence, any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
I would say that paragraph 7 isn't necessary. That says, did a witness have some?
Inconsistent statement?
Yeah.
State,
That can come out.
it can come out?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm taking out paragraph 7.
Actually, the state would ask that it stay in.
Okay.
In light of Detective Grossman's testimony compared to the defendant's, and the jury can weigh.
But that's not an inconsistent statement, is it?
State believes that what he said in court is inconsistent with what he told the detective.
That he didn't do it?
I'm sorry. Say that again. Say what you said again, Ms. Walensky.
The state believes that what he said to
Who's he now?
the defendant,
Uh-huh.
Detective Grossman,
Uh-huh.
is inconsistent with what he said in court.
Got
So I
it.
think the jury can weigh that. They don't have, it doesn't have to be an impeachment.
Response?
I don't think it's necessary. There was,
I'll keep it in.
What did she say? Should I respond to that?
Here, we'll talk about it in a minute. Let's just go through all the instructions, then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Just remember that question. It has to do with the inconsistent statement?
No, should I say something?
What do you want to say, sir?
I didn't say nothing to any law enforcement convicting myself except the guy that lied on me. So what is she talking about?
Okay, Well, this is what she's going to say in argument, which is not evidence. This is just her theory of the case. So she's allowed to do that. Then your attorneys will come back and, respond to it as necessary. The jury's going to be the ones to decide what the evidence is.
Okay, because I know they have no argument that I did say anything to convict myself, except the guy that lied on me, and that's the only thing they brought up in the accusations of me.
And I believe your attorneys are likely going to be mentioning that to the jury when they do their closing arguments.
Okay,
Okay?
and
So let's continue on with the charge conference, okay, sir?
can you make sure my lawyer discusses the
I can't
closing
make-
argument with me?
We'll talk. We're going to take a break, and you and your attorneys can talk about all of that when we take a break, okay?
All right.
All right. Going back to defendant's statements, any objections from the state?
No objection.
Defense? Here's a hint. I'm likely going to let it in because he had his statements on the gang stalking video. All right. Do you have any legal objections to that?
If the defense
No.
doesn't want it, we can take it out. I'll defer to the defense.
All right. If you want it out, it'll go out. You want it in or out, defense?
We'll take it out, Judge.
All right. So I'm going to delete defendant's statements. 1 second. Rules for deliberation. Any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
No objection.
Cautionary instruction. Any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
No objection.
Verdict. Any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
No objection.
Closing argument. Any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
No objection.
Submitting the case to the jury. Any objections from the state?
No.
Defense?
No objection.
Going to the verdict form now. You have the modification that corrects the date.
Yes.
Any objections to the verdict form state?
No.
Defense?
No objection.
Mr. Williams, I'm going to put you under oath. Raise your right hand.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Sir, were you present when we were going through the jury instructions?
Yes, I heard him. Is there anything that's gonna violate my rights in there?
Okay, my question to you is, were you present during the charge conference when we went over the jury instructions?
Yeah, I was present.
Okay, and you went over the jury instructions with your attorney?
Yeah.
You actively participated in this charge conference?
Yeah, I actually participated, but
Do you agree with the instructions that are included in, do you agree with the instructions?
well, my question is do the jury have the option of not guilty?
That's what the verdict form says. Did you look at the verdict form, sir?
Okay, I'm okay then.
Okay, so you're satisfied with the jury instructions?
Yes.
Satisfied with your attorneys?
Yeah, I just want her to discuss the closing statement with me, and
Then we're going to take a break to allow that. We're not going to come back until 1:45, and then we'll do the closing. I'll do my instructions, then your attorneys will do the closing statements after the state.
oh,
Approach now? Yeah, sure. Okay. Let me just finish my colloquy with Mr. Williams. So you understand, sir?
yeah, I don't know why she has to approach. She doesn't like to do what I say. I mean, she doesn't like to do what I ask.
Well, so
Why
far,
she has to approach?
So far, we've gone through the whole process, and you've been satisfied with her. So she's just going to approach, and if there's anything that I need to let you know, I'll let you know what's going on at the sidebar, okay?
Okay.
So you satisfied with the instructions?
Yeah, I was just concerned about not guilty part. That's all I want to know.
Well, you see the verdict form? You see that there's a box where the jury can check not guilty?
Yeah,
So you see that?
yeah,
So the jury has that option. You understand that?
yeah,
Okay. Are you satisfied with the verdict form?
yes.
All right. Court, you can approach counsel. So, Mr. Williams, at the sidebar, your attorneys indicated that you wanted a copy of the closing that they're going to give. Is that right?
Closing together since it's affecting. Since it's my life,
I
I
understand.
want us to
sir.
do the closing together.
All right. Well, you can't speak at the closing. Your attorneys will speak for you. But here's what we're going to do. I've directed your attorney to print out the closing that they have in written form. During the lunch break, when you're in your cell or downstairs in holding, eating your lunch, you can go through the closing that your attorney intends to give. And then when we come back, you and your attorney can confer about the closing. And if there are any issues, you can discuss that. Okay?
Yeah, if I don't like it, I want it changed. Since it's my life, I'm facing life in prison.
All right. Did you hear what I said, sir?
Okay.
Okay. So you're going to get a copy of the closing. You can go review it during the lunch break. And when we come back, we'll talk about any issues you may have. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Are we ready to break for lunch, counsel? In unison. See you at 1:45.